pretty much?
Yes, we've only been here 3 weeks. We're completing, I believe, 3 weeks tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
What's it been like these last 3 weeks?
It's actually been pretty nice. We lived in a gymnasium at a church here in town. The Woodhaven Church of the Nazarene was our host for about 3.5 weeks. And we lived out of literally suitcases and baggage, and you carried your laptop computer. We were literally homeless for several weeks until we negotiated this short-term lease in this location. So it's kind of nice to have a roof over your head and not have to take your work with you in a bag or luggage. It was a little awkward working out of being homeless. I personally, with a crew of volunteers, boarded up the 1100 location on Veterans Memorial Parkway on Friday the 29th, and that was a pretty dark day for me to have to board up and walk away from that office. We have a blue tarp over it now, trying to protect it because it's serving as our warehouse. We're literally storing supplies, cots, blankets, food, and some clothing there, and our office supplies that we can't physically get in this office, so we're over there every day retrieving items that we need. But to answer your question, it's kind of refreshing to be here under a roof. It's cozy. I mean, we have 2 to 3 people per office. I have an intern from your college who's working with me this summer on fundraising. I had one in the spring, now I have one in the summer. And so we're literally elbow to elbow. You all saw my office. She sits right beside me, has her computer, so it's cozy, but we're efficient.
What is the United Way looking for when they show up today? What do they want to make sure that you guys are doing? And you said they come to visit regularly wherever you are.
This is a once-a-year visit.
Okay.
And they come to scrutinize the numbers. We have submitted a budget to them and a fairly voluminous compilation of what all we do here. We're justifying our existence, so to speak. And we also are sharing with them numbers for previous year, current year, and the coming year, which begins for us next Friday the 1st. Our year runs July 1 through June 30. So they'll be scrutinizing the numbers, looking for adjustments. Why is this costing more? Why is this being forecast to cost less? And that's what we're here to do, is justify those numbers. And
it also gives them a report.
We've enjoyed very good success in fundraising. It's the last year, and before the disaster was very challenging for us and every other philanthropy in the country. This disaster has restored our faith in mankind. We have enjoyed donations from literally every state in the Union, Puerto Rico, and Washington, D.C., as we did volunteers from all 50 states were represented in Alabama during the disaster. Specifically to answer your question, yes, we have not totally paid for the disaster, but we're gaining on it. Extremely generous donors from all walks of life from every state in the Union. And it takes that, to be able to respond 24 hours a day on 2 hours notice for a natural disaster, it takes money. And we respond before we raise the money. We'll worry about paying for it after the fact. But your own Dr. Horsley is a national spokesperson for American Red Cross and is available to be deployed anywhere in the continental United States to be an official spokesperson with the media to represent Red Cross. She's a great ally, a great asset for the chapter. And again, it takes money to be able to respond, and that's my function here in the chapter, is to raise dollars so that we can support the effort when asked to do so.
Aren't you United Way agency?
We are, and we're very proud of that fact. United Way, who incidentally will be here today for their on-site visit, annual visit, they'll be here this afternoon, scrutinize our activities and our expenses very closely, and they do actually provide about 40% of our annual budget. The other 60% is my responsibility to get out and raise money locally, nationally, through fundraisers or whatever venues we can to ensure that roughly $600,000 budget is met every year.
Where do you get that 60%? What kind of fundraisers do you do? Are you looking for people just calling saying, here's money, like you had the tornado? What kind of events do you do to raise that money?
That's a great question. We exercise a multitude of different opportunities to raise money. We try to think outside the box. We have the traditional events that other philanthropies do. This year we introduced a Boston butt sale that was successful. We have runs for runners and joggers and walkers throughout the year. We certainly canvass the community. There are no federal or state dollars given to Red Cross. I think that's important. Oftentimes folks confuse us as a quasi-governmental agency, and we're not. We rely entirely on the generosity of the general public. So we canvass continually donors to consider supporting our efforts. Something else that we haven't talked about yet, but is a vital part of what we do, is our blood services involvement. We provide all the blood here for our friends at DCH Regional Medical Center. And you have to earn that right. There are some competitors out there competing with us for blood. And that's an integral part of what we do. We have organized blood drives right here in Tuscaloosa, all throughout the city on an ongoing basis to meet those needs.
So there was a big need after April 27th, I would imagine, right, on that day.
There obviously was a huge need. DCH trauma unit treated 1,000 people the night of the storm. 1,000 people went through the trauma unit, which obviously exceeded their capacity, so they brought in resources from around the state. There were 99 ERVs here, the emergency response vehicle that you see parked out in the parking lot. They had 99 of those serving the state of Alabama through the disaster. We have one in Tuscaloosa, so obviously our neighbors brought them from all points across the continental United States, driven by volunteers. We're a grassroots volunteer organization. There are 4.5 of us on the staff here, and we cover about 4,500 square miles of West Alabama. So were it not for the volunteers, such as Dr. Horsley and others, we would not be able to function as efficiently as we do.
One of the things to segue on what